Yo, what is going on, guys? It's Jack, and welcome back to another video. And first and foremost, down to business as usual. And much to my surprise, actually, nobody got the challenge in the last video in terms of from what game the music in the background was. And I was actually surprised. I was actually kind of waiting and saying, okay, somebody's definitely gonna get this right off the bat, but that didn't end up being the case. And the answer is that it's Siphon Filter. It's a very popular PlayStation 1 game. They made a couple sequels that were on PlayStation 1 as well. I think maybe PlayStation 2 as well for like the second or third game, but Siphon Filter was a really cool game. I played it back in the day. I was like, I don't know, I think I was like 14, 15 years old. Siphon Filter I had a lot of fun with. So that is where the music in the background originated from. So let's talk about the main subject of today's video, and that is mouse and keyboard. First and foremost, in terms of the very basic thing I wanted to ask was, number one, how do you guys feel about mouse and keyboard? And by the way, this gameplay over here of Black Ops 4, I chose this one specifically, and you'll see that in the first half of this game, I get my ass absolutely positively handed to me badly. Some of the worst ass beatings I've ever taken in Call of Duty. And you guys definitely weren't kidding about the sweats in this game. I just started playing it again last night, and this gameplay was earlier today. And let me tell you, holy shit, you guys weren't kidding. But in terms of the sweats, but yeah. And another reason was this guy over here that just killed me. For some reason, I think that guy might have been using mouse and keyboard, or maybe I could be wrong. I don't know. In terms of the way he was moving, not just from that kill cam, but in terms of the way he was moving and all that kind of stuff, and also he was using that weapon as well. It's just, I mean, I know that weapon is pretty strong if you got good aim, but at the same time, it's like, sometimes in terms of the way a player moves and how it seems, it makes it seem like they have mouse and keyboard, but I don't know. I don't play on PC, even though I do have one now that I can play on if I want to, but it's going to take a lot of time, a lot of transition, all that kind of stuff, and I'm just not ready for that yet. And on top of that, it requires more, a little bit more of a financial commitment as well. So, yeah, let me know if you guys think, from what you've seen, whether it's the kill cam or whatever it is, whether or not that guy is using them, whether or not it's possible that that person may be using a mouse and keyboard. And just because the game's not Modern Warfare doesn't necessarily mean that they're not using mouse and keyboard. There's a thing called a Zim or a Cronus Max. I mean, they can use that shit, and they can get some mouse and keyboard action going. But here's where the debate starts, because this seems to be a never-ending debate, which is another reason why I made this video, because I wanted your guys' input. Because you guys that watch me, I do know that there are a percentage of you that also play on PC, and there's a percentage of you that also play on both. You just kind of pick your poison. You kind of choose which version of the game you want to play, or you play certain games on PC and other games you play on console. Cool. So since you guys have firsthand experience, unlike myself, with the mouse and keyboard and the sticks as well, I mean, I only know sticks at this point. The first time I ever played on mouse and keyboard, which was probably the only time in terms of first-person shooters, was back in the day when I was 12 years old. Went to a friend's house in Orlando. His dad had a PC, and we played. What did we play? We played this game called Star Wars Dark Forces. We played single player, and that was when I first actually fell in love with first-person shooters from that game. And that was the only time I ever played on mouse and keyboard, and I thought it was a lot of fun. But in terms of the experience of the controls and all that kind of stuff, I really don't remember all that much. But all I do know that actually, even well before Halo, the first time I fell in love with a first-person shooter title was Star Wars Dark Forces on PC. Go figure. If I had access to a PC, I can just imagine what kind of games I'd be playing now. I don't know if I'd even be playing Call of Duty. I don't know. But anyway, let's get back on subject here. What is your opinion? How do you feel about mouse and keyboard coming to console and crossplay? Because the never-ending debate goes like this. You've got some of the best PC players out there that I do watch, some of them, and you have some of these people that are saying that PC players are actually at a disadvantage because aim assist is so strong that people on console that are using a controller because of the aim assist can absolutely shit on PC players, and it's actually the PC players that are at a disadvantage. And then you've got pretty much the majority, if not damn near all of the console community, if not all the console community, saying the exact opposite, saying that you really can't compare the sticks to a mouse and keyboard when it comes to the amount of accuracy that you can have with a mouse and keyboard compared to the sticks on a console. So where do you guys lie on this? What's your opinion when it comes to this? Where do you guys lie on? I don't, obviously I can't say anything because, again, I have no experience whatsoever, at least not yet. So I figured I'd ask you guys because I myself am curious, and I really don't want to take a side, especially when I don't have firsthand experience. When I haven't played on both sides of the spectrum, it would be really hypocritical or just downright wrong for me to pick a side on this. But I can see where both sides are coming from, especially since there are certain people that I've seen that just say that they play on PC, that the amount of control that you have, even though you don't have aim assist, although maybe you can mix and match and have aim assist with the mouse and keyboard, which in my opinion sounds like absolutely ridiculousness. Ridiculousness. Is that even a word? But anyway, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to think because I'm hearing so many mixed opinions. There were a couple instances during the Modern Warfare beta where I was lighting somebody up, and obviously the connection wasn't consistent at all with the Modern Warfare beta for a lot of people, myself included. You know, shoot first, die first kind of thing. I was lighting this guy up, and then all of a sudden I saw the kill cam, and I was like, what the fuck? I saw the kill cam. He just snapped on me without like any effort whatsoever. Bam, headshot. I was dead. Granted, it may have not been a mouse and keyboard player because the time to kill in Modern Warfare is so fast. Headshots kill even faster this time on top of that. So to get an instantaneous death like that isn't something that's new specifically for Modern Warfare. It's not something that's like a surprise because it's been very well known by now. So, and the thing is with the console, especially since the game itself is slower paced than like, let's say a Black Ops 4 like this one, I have this feeling that if console players are right to a certain extent, I have a feeling that because this Modern Warfare itself is a very quote-unquote tactical, passive, campy, camp fest, whatever you want to call it, type of game, that mouse and keyboard players may have an increased amount of advantage versus console players, simply because of the fact that, you know, there's gonna be a lot of head glitch versus head glitch action. And in terms of pinpoint accuracy, from everything that I've heard, PC players have a distinct advantage, like a big advantage over console players. And I think going back and looking at the settings in Modern Warfare, I also think that this is maybe a reason why we have separate aim assist settings, which is a first for Call of Duty, at least to my knowledge, a first on console at least. So, which had me really curious, and I'm like, well, why can't we all be on the same aim assist settings as opposed to picking a different aim assist setting? Is this what Infinity Ward has come up with to kind of try to balance it out between mouse and keyboard players when crossplay is enabled, or when there's multiple consoles or multiple platforms in one lobby? Is this their way of kind of trying to balance things out so that way everybody is on an even playing ground as much as possible? I mean, I don't know. The questions are pretty much all over this place. So, and as you saw in the gameplay here, I got my ass absolutely handed to me in the first half, and then I somehow, even without using a specialist, managed to come back. So this guy right here, what do you guys think? Do you guys think he was using mouse and keyboard possibly? I don't know. Thoughts are all over the place. I mean, just in terms of how people move, sometimes it's just, I don't know. And I've played on a high sensitivity too, so I know that it can seem like that, especially if you play a lot and if you play on a very high sensitivity. But just wanted to know what you guys thought. So yeah, how do you guys feel overall, and where do you stand in terms of the whole, is PC at an advantage or is it at a disadvantage? Or are we as close to as even as we're ever going to get when it comes to Modern Warfare and the current console PC gaming platform times? But anyway, that's all I got for this one, guys. Let me know down in the comment section. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, let me know. And if you didn't, let me know what I can do to make my videos better. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.